Hey everyone, this is Austin Schur here with We Write About Music, and today I'm speaking with King JBoi. He's just shared his newest single titled Got Mine Too, and I am super excited to talk to him all about it. I want to thank you so much for coming on today. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Appreciate you having me.
You're very welcome. What's new in your part of the world? Where are you at?
Uh, I'm in Atlanta now. I'm originally from Memphis, Tennessee, but I've been based out of Atlanta now for the past few years.
Nice. How do you like it down there? I've always wanted to come and visit.
Uh, it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah?
It's different. I travel a lot, so
Yeah.
yeah, it has a very unique atmosphere here, culture. It's a little different than Memphis.
Sure, sure.
But yeah, but not as different, I guess, so to speak. Like in terms of like when I'm out in LA or if I'm in Miami or something like that. Like
Yeah.
those are it's completely different.
Much different vibe, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm super excited to have you on. I can't wait to talk to you all about this single. First thing I really want to dig into here is the lyrics of the song. It goes pretty hard lyrically. I want to hear from you what it's all about and what the song means to you.
Ah. uh so got mine too. I mean, the title, I kind of give you the motivation behind it when I
Sure, sure.
created it. It was a follow up it was a follow-up song behind the project that I just released, Suburban Music.
Gotcha.
Um, and I think Suburban Music, I took a different approach, like a more subtle approach. I wasn't as aggressive. I was pretty much laid back. And
Hmm.
I was shifting my sound from the past two projects that I released before that, two EPs. I dropped Holy Trinity and I dropped another project called Young Kovu. And Young Kovu specifically was a very harsh because I was coming out of some things personally, mentally. So it was very kind of
Hmm.
hardcore, very punchy.
Yeah.
So suburban music was like me more so chilling back. And I was so chill. I wanted a song to follow up to kind of basically like a statement song, right? So when I did Got Mine Too, it was all about like, yo, like don't forget, like I'm here, right? So I
Yeah.
got mine too, you know. You got money, I do too, you know. You got cars, I got them too, you know. And kind of making that statement from a perspective, like, because I'm totally independent, I always have been. And my budget, I created my own budget. I learned the industry alone, in terms of management, even video production. I direct my own videos. I've been doing that now for the past probably 4 or 5 years. Um, I built my team, even like with my assistants, my PR reps, my marketing people. I teach them what to do. So
That's
like,
awesome. That's
yeah, most
respectable
of what you
because,
see,
yeah, the whole music industry is, having so many people on your back trying to pull you in another direction and tell you what to do, but it's your
yeah,
music, it's your
no,
business. You need to be at the front of
right,
it. That's really cool, man.
exactly,
How
yep,
about the
yep.
production side of things? Obviously, you're very in control of your music, but do you have any outside help, finishing these songs and putting them together?
I do. So, and I'm super hands on. Even with the making the music part,
Yeah.
I like to. I'm in the studio. I because I know because I know what I'm looking for in terms of sound wise.
Yeah.
I'm super hands on, but I work with a few different people in terms of engineers, mix and master engineers, tracking engineers, and it just depends on where I am. I haven't locked in with a single person just yet. I work with a guy named Cam with Suburban Music. He pretty much mixed and mastered the whole thing. Before that, I was working with a guy named Jason back in Memphis, Tennessee, that
Okay.
did Holy Trinity and Young Kovu. And, and I worked with a new engineer with the Got Mine too, but I was way more hands on with Got Mine too. So yeah,
Nice, man. Well, I want to talk about your process a little bit. Obviously, it sounds like you are pretty hands-on, but does a song always start a certain way for you? Does it start with a line? that pops into your head, or does it start with a life experience that you want to, transfer to a song?
I think pretty much sometimes the lines pop in my head, but I think because most of my music is like it's coming from what I'm feeling in that moment.
Sure.
Like so I recorded Got Mine too after I released suburban music. So I was in that
Okay.
mind frame, right? So I'm traveling, um shooting videos at the time. I'm in
Sure.
LA, I'm in Miami, and I'm doing my thing, right? And I'm living my life, you
Yeah,
feel me?
man.
So when he sent me the beat, it was a guy, I think I was headed to Florida, as a matter of fact, when he sent me the beat. And I think the original first line was something totally different. The chorus was totally different. By the time I got to the studio, it was very similar, but when I got to the studio, I made it more repetitive.
That makes sense.
And yeah, and it just became more of a bouncy song, which is what I wanted.
Nice. No, I mean the end product turned out great. So whatever you did,
Yeah,
good job.
I appreciate
Yeah, man.
it.
So obviously I want to keep the focus here on this single, but I also sort of want to take a look into the future. Do you have any plans to experiment with your sound or maybe like change things up going forward?
Yeah, that's funny. Yes, absolutely. It's
Yeah.
already in the
In what
works.
in what
Yeah.
ways?
It's kind of already in the works.
Okay.
So I just completed a new short EP that's probably going to come
Oh,
out
nice.
soon, pretty soon. But following that, I'm actually working on a second album, Suburban Music
Ah,
2.
nice.
And that's where it's kind of changing. And it is, I'll put it this way, it's more catering to which suburban music, the first one pretty much did the same thing, more catering towards females.
Sure.
So it has a softer sound,
Okay.
kind of sort of like suburban music one did, but it's even softer.
Nice.
So
And
yeah.
so, as far as like this softer sound, or even just sort of like your music in general, are you trying to model your sound after inspirations, or are you trying to go for something completely new? I know it's kind of tough
Com-
because,
it is, but honestly, no, because I've always had this sound in my head. And
sure.
so what I've done over time was perfected the sound in my head.
Right,
And
right, right.
suburban music was like the first time where I got the reaction where people realized what I had been working on for years. It's like they caught it. It was like,
That makes
oh,
sense.
that was dope. Yeah, and it's crazy because I look at the analytics and the two songs where I was actually being myself are the songs that's doing the numbers now. And so I was
That's
like, oh, okay. So,
crazy.
so y'all
Yeah.
caught it.
Right, right, right. Well, now you know what you need
Y'all
to
caught it.
do. We have all this
Yeah.
information and all this data going forward. It's like you can
Oh yeah,
directly
yeah.
see what the people are enjoying.
Exactly.
That's
Exactly.
cool.
Yeah.
So now
It's
that
just
you've
the
been,
benefit of it.
yeah, now that you've been doing this a while, is there something about the entire process that you look forward to the most? From like thinking up a song to finally hitting, the submit button? Is there something that kind of stands out to you?
I would say the studio process, like
Okay.
actually being in the studio. I
Sure.
typically book like I'll probably book an entire day in the studio
Sure.
and like at least 8 hours. Not because I actually need it, but because we're experimenting. I'm trying
Yeah.
everything. So I'm listening. I'm going through the process. That and then I always enjoy the creation of the visual, like the idea, the planning, and actually executing the videos
Yeah.
and kind of sinking the video into the concept of the song has always been pretty dope to
That
me.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, as you continue to release more music, do you already have shows in the works? Do you play live at this point?
So I at one point we were um this was before probably pre-COVID. We was
Yeah,
moving around, making appearances. As of right now, like so when COVID hit, I really locked in on a social media aspect
yeah,
and moving around and networking. So the events that we were doing were pretty small listening parties and studio
right.
sessions and things like that. But now I do like we've been talking with some different people. We talked with a few investors about setting
Hmm.
up a tour. Um, I actually was in Miami probably about a month or so ago, and that was the topic. What's next? Um, so we've been talking about it
All
and
right.
kind of touching these cities. So,
I
but
mean, I hope it happens. Your music deserves to
yeah,
be heard live. You need to give the fans what they want.
definitely appreciate it. Yeah, that's the game plan.
Totally, totally. So who are some of your musical inspirations? What was the thing that made you decide I want to start making music for myself?
um, so I being from Memphis, the rap music was always a big thing. Like
Oh,
so
of
growing
course.
up, I think about yeah, like 3 6 Mafia was a big deal. But even
Ah, yeah, that
before
makes
three
sense.
right.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
even
yeah.
before 3 6 Mafia,
Sure,
and then
sure.
I'm from the same neighborhood that DJ Paul is from. Like I
Nice.
actually grew up seeing him stand on the corner. But before that, like I think about, West Coast music was real big when I was a kid. So
Sure.
your Coolio, your Ice Cube, and then of course, your
Right.
Tupac and all that.
Yeah.
It was like a big thing growing up as a kid, but I don't think I really understood it from the angle that I understood it when I got older and I started kind of taking serious watching when I watched Yo Gotti actually create his team
Yeah.
and then actually attack the rap game from his angle. I was a kid, but I was at the age where I can kind of understand what he was doing.
Sure.
All right. And at that point, I realized that it was possible. Like, oh no, this is something
Yeah.
that I can actually do. Like I can
Anyone can
actually
do
make
it.
money out of this. Yeah. And that's when it kind of turned. But in terms of like just wanting to make music, I've always made music. I used to have a little notepad when I was like 6 and 7 years old when I
That's
was
cool.
used to kind of jot down and write
Yeah.
music. And then when I was about 12, my mom had a computer and I discovered Fruity Loops. So I started making beats.
Sure.
And then I have older. I was the youngest boy of my
Mm.
generation, so I used to make the beats for my older cousin, my older brother, and they used to rap on them. Of course, we were all just kind of playing around, and
Sure,
then
sure.
so when I turned like 16, 17, like I said, watching Yo Gotti and what he did, I
Hmm.
just said, "Oh no, this is probably I can build an empire. Like
There you
I can
go.
actually do it." Yeah.
I think it's
So I
all
just
about
kind of
obviously
locked
the
in learning.
talent has to be there, but it's all about consistency and learning the
Yeah.
business side of it. And I mean, it sounds like you've been doing it for quite a while now. You get how it
Yeah.
works, and it's just like that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I've only got a couple more questions for you at this point, but I want to
Gotcha.
know. It seems like you're pretty, or you've been pretty ingrained in your local music scene. So I was hoping
Mm.
that you could maybe shout out some other artists that are doing big things, or even just like what's been on your playlist lately that you could recommend.
Um, I guess from that, I mean, yeah, because I'm back home as far as Memphis. I'm very like head down in terms of like
I
with
get
music.
that.
I really don't look
Right.
up a lot,
That's
but
okay. That's
I
okay.
I I do have a lot of respect for the impact that Memphis music is making on the scene
Sure.
from yeah, not just Yo Gotti, but your Moneybag Yo's, and of course, rest in peace, Young Dolph.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's been a big thing here lately. And they've them Key Glock and that whole scenery. I've been pretty much, that's pretty much the only thing that's been on my playlist. Like if I'm not listening to myself in terms of local music,
Hmm.
of course I'm a big Drake and Future fan as well,
Sure.
so I listen to them a lot. But in terms of like back home, your Moneybag Yo's, your Key Glocks, your really all those guys. And I
Yeah.
mean, before Finesse 2 times before he went to jail, I used to listen to him a lot. In terms of local music, and then of course, even Rich Lord before he died, and just those artists that I definitely worked with, and of course, Boo Dirty as well. He signed with Akon now, I believe
Yeah.
still. But yeah,
Nice. Well, I'll definitely check out some of those that I haven't heard. So thank you.
yeah. Definitely,
Um,
definitely.
all right,
Tell
I've
him I
got.
sent you if you ever
I
talk to
will.
him.
I will. I promise. All right, I've got one more question for you. The question is basically for those that are going to discover you from this, and for those that are going to listen to your music for the first time, what is like an opening welcome message that you'd like to say to them?
Oh, that's tough. um, so first, I definitely want to appreciate, those that are actually giving it a shot, giving it the opportunity, giving me the opportunity to tell my story. Because it's basically when you take a listen to my music, you giving me an opportunity to express me what I'm feeling at the moment when I recorded it, and also, whatever I may have been going through and expressing at that time. So give me an opportunity to speak. That's a big
Yeah.
thing for me. So I definitely appreciate it. Um, Other than that, I definitely appreciate the support.
Of course, of course. No, man.
Yeah,
I think everyone should be out there supporting. I wanna
yeah,
plug you one more time and say Got Mine 2 is out. I hope everyone gives it a listen and shares it with their friends, but it also sounds like there's a lot more coming. So I would say follow along, stay tuned. 2022 is looking big for you, and it's been a real pleasure getting to talk to you. I want to thank you for your time. I will wrap things up and saying with another thank you, and I look forward to speaking soon. So, bye bye.